Hey everyone. Hope you guys can hear and see me. I've done a little work on this, and I'm just kind of hoping that it was all for good reasons. Let me know if I'm coming in loud and clear.
Hey everyone. Hope you guys can hear and see me. I've done a little work on this, and I'm
That's
just
no
kind of
fun. There we go. Awesome. Thank you for letting me know that, Mike. I finally hooked up the right microphone to this. I tried to do a bit of mood lighting here, but the monitor kind of ruins it. So yeah, this was supposed to be all like in. Am I echoing now? I think I turned the echo off. It was supposed to be kind of like a blood red color, but it really doesn't work in here with the monitor and that sort of thing. First of all, I just want to say thank you very much for spending your Saturday night with me. That's amazing, and I'm really grateful because it's the all is good, great, no echo, wonderful. I'm really grateful because it's Devil's Night. I mean, there's a lot of things people can do on a Saturday night, so I really cannot believe how many folks are out there right now. I really appreciate this. Nice and dark for Samhain. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, so eventually, except you can't hear about it. Yeah, I've tried to do a little bit of a House of Horrors. I've got my Blood Island. Hey, Rich, how you doing? Blood Island and my mask, and I've got one of my vinyl blow molds. I have so many, but I'd have to cart them all down to the basement. And this one lights up. Brian and Brian's ghost. I'm being haunted by myself. I think that's a Space 1999. So it is Devil's Night, and I am drinking a beer with a wolf on the logo. That is the spookiest thing I could find, and it doesn't taste terrible. So I wanted to do this tonight because actually I wanted to do it on Halloween, but my daughter's having a party, and if you think you can't hear me normally in this thing, you're not going to hear me when there's like 40 16-year-olds next door. So I moved it up to Saturday night as opposed to doing it on Halloween, and I guess I'll just have to go to a toy show or something tomorrow. The the reason for doing this is I've been working on this book, and I just before I do the official announcement of the book, I wanted to kind of explain the history of it. This was supposed to be the follow up to Rack Toys, the first follow up to Rack Toys. I know I'm still working on Mall of Justice, but Mall of Justice came much later in this timeline. The the first official follow up to Rack Toys was this publication, and I started it, and I ended up not doing it for a number of reasons. The main reason was I was exhausted after Rack Toys. I mean, it really took a lot out of me. The second reason was financially, Rack Toys was a long tail sale. It wasn't, you know, I didn't break even right away. It took about a year, and I kind of also felt that I just didn't have enough photos for the book itself, and I did all those factors and a lack of confidence, just and getting busy with kids and a wife and that sort of thing, just kind of pushed it aside, and I went and did other things. And during my interviews for Rack Toys through Nacelle, I just kept hearing it. I just kept, you know that episode of Homer, The Simpsons, where Homer wants to go to clown college, and every time he tries to think of something, the clown college keeps popping up. That was this book. I would be, talking to people on the radio, and Nacelle got me all these great interviews, and the more I talked about it, the more I could visualize how it would look. And I went back and looked at all the photos I had, and then I looked at my collection now, and I realized, like, okay, this could really happen, and this could happen quick. I'm much more skilled a designer now. You know, rack toys took like a year to make. This could just take me a couple months. I could figure this out pretty quickly. And I already had kind of started the book. A lot of the images were cropped, the CMYK, you know, they were high def. Like, I had done a lot of work. And then, I don't know what that means. So yes, thank you. Oh, I just got that. I'm sorry, I'm thick sometimes. So then I started looking through all my hard drives, and there would always be a folder of photos that I had taken and put aside. So, like, subconsciously, I had been working on this book for years. And I started to put them all. Yeah, thanks. I got it eventually. It just took me a long time. I kind of started putting this book together, and I started talking to people, collector friends of mine, and everybody was into it, and everyone was trying to help. And I started to get, and I'll name names because this is a good naming of names. I started to get like a lot of energy around this. So I am very, very proud of what I'm about to show you. This is the very special announcement for my next book. I hope this works. But please enjoy the follow-up to Rack Toys right now. I hope I'm back on. You guys see me? There we go. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I actually spent an entire day looking for the right music for that. And I wanted to talk a little bit about all the folks who helped me out with this and why I knew this was the right thing to do. Like, just sometimes things, your gut, I always trust my gut. And everyone that I showed this to didn't say like, oh, neat. They would go, I want to be in on this. And that's a wonderful feeling. It's like a hug. And I made a few, new friends too. And I can't believe some of the wonderful outpourings of support I've got. So I just want to kind of go through some names and talk about some folks who really helped out here. Other than my wife and kids who are amazing. First and foremost, David Lockwood. You guys might know him from the vintage toy group, and he is honestly the patron saint of this book. When I wanted to give it up, he kept going with his photos. He gave and gave and gave. And Dave has over 1,200 knockoff figures. That's way more than I have. And that really excited me and kept me going. And when I started looking through his photos, I was like, there's just so much humor in this book. It is so funny. It's a lot like riffing, and I'll get more into that eventually. But I've asked somebody to do the intro that knows a lot about riffing, and he's going to try and do my forward. And I just, wink, wink. But anyway, so Dave is first and foremost the hero of this. But then we've also got John T. Marshall, who has written many toy books and really bent over backwards to send me cool pictures of his collection. My friend Steve Moore, who runs Mego Meet and works on the Mego Museum with me, he is, believe it or not, like my joke writer on this, because this really needs to be a funny book. And, he's punching up stuff, and he's probably the wittiest human being I know. You've got Rob Chatland, who I haven't asked to edit this yet, but probably will. My friend Corey Lachat, who is my better half on Toy Ventures and probably the reason you like Toy Ventures. My friend Shannon T. Stewart, my friend Robin Adams. These are very helpful and supportive friends. Steve Leach, Chris Toyman Hummel sent me over some amazing Motu knockoffs. And then I've made some new friends. A fellow Abraham from the awesome Toys on Tap podcast, and is he going on his show made me realize that the book needs to be more than just vintage stuff. We should really talk about the bootleg toy art scene. One, because I love it, and two, because I'm an artist myself, and I just really wanted to embrace. I love people that are doing things and having fun, and these bootleg toys. You see them all the time on Instagram. I mean, there was one recently, and this is another thing that got me. There was one somebody did a Mr. E.T. From that old Simpsons joke of "I pity the fool that doesn't phone home," and like my friends were sending me that thing. Okay, like friends that don't collect toys. They're just like, they were sending it to me, and by the end of the day, I think I had seen it about 40 times. And you start to go like, okay, this is resonating with people, and it's a wonderful, joyous thing. It's fun, and so I asked Abraham at Toys on Tap. We had a phone conversation. I said, I would love to profile as many of these artists as I can in the book, because I think this is so freaking cool. And I've done some myself over the years. I've done some Brick Mantooth stuff and some of the Pod Stallions characters. And, I have a few more up here somewhere. But it's not about me. I really want to show some of the people that are really, like, this is their thing, and they're kicking butt. And, Abraham went above and beyond and brought me, 10 different artists, and they're just wonderful, joyous. I was laughing, every folder I open, I'd start to laugh at not with them, not at them. And the jokes, like, they land, they're funny, and they're really well done. So it's just, and then of course when Abraham sent me this stuff, Ron, Ron, Space Pimp, it opened up all these doors in my brain for creativity. Like, looking at these people's work, all of a sudden I knew how the page had to look, and I knew what I wanted to do, and I was having fun, and I lost an entire day. I mean, lost in the fact that, like, what time is it? Oh my God, I wasn't sitting on Facebook arguing with people or that sort of thing. I was just sitting there, like, excited to be doing this. And I've met some just kind people. Chance Priest, who is amazing. He has a fantastic collection of bootlegs, like, unbelievably hilarious collection of bootlegs. And he also seems to be, like, one of the hardest working people in it. He's just always creating, and there's this beautiful energy to that. And Alexander, who I highlighted in my Lincoln Monsters video. I mean, that's is so lovely what he's doing, and it feels like a wonderful bookend. To quote, turn a phrase. Oh, Abraham, that's nice. I'm glad to see you. It just feels like a wonderful ending to this story. And the other thing I want to talk about, though, is there's no way I can get it all in there. I think that this book has so much potential for a follow-up. They're calling it meta. Yeah, who cares? There's so much potential for a follow-up book on this, and I can't wait to do that. And one of the things that is so fun about this book is, on the weekend, I decided to go to this kind of dreary flea market by my house. There's not many flea markets left in my neighborhood because of gentrification and all that. We all have to have another Starbucks and condos. And I went to this cell phone dealer and bought some, like, knockoffs that he's had for over 20 years. I think he charged me like $4. But I got some Power Rangers, and I got some Action Man and Duke Nukem kind of ripoffs, and I just it reinvigorated me. Like, I was so excited to buy this trash, and this is what I love to do, is to create something and have fun with it, and it's so great. This is a time where we're obviously, a lot of us are insulated. We're staying home a lot more. To have all these people kind of come together and help with this book. And I've just never been more energized by a project. Now, I love doing Toy Ventures Magazine, and I'm not going to stop. We're working on issue 6. I'm working very hard on issue 6. But there's a lot of details, and of the issues is the editing process, because we're putting our names on that thing, and it's and we want to get the facts right. We don't want to print something wrong. Years and years ago, a book prints a rumor or a myth, and you have to hear about it for 20, 25 years. And so we really work hard on Toy Ventures. We consider ourselves, toy journalists. But this isn't like that. This is me getting to design fun pages and making jokes. And it's almost meditation. You're distracting the back of your brain with the front of your brain. And this is so exciting to me. And I'm so glad you guys came to join me on that because, yeah, this is the next big thing I'm going to do. I'm super excited about it. No Pod Stallions love? Oh, I love Pod Stallions. Jason and I, that to me, Pod Stallions is just me and Jason having a phone call, and it recharges my batteries. I get off a Pod Stallions episode and go, that's great. I talked to my buddy for 2 hours. I love Jason. If I could ever figure out the tech to have Jason right next to me on this, I would do it. But I think I have to go to LA and fix his computer. Yeah, thank you, Mike. It's good to see you, buddy. I miss seeing your purchases at Mego Meat, bud. So, having said that, that was my big announcement. But December release, yeah. Well, I'm working with a digital printer, and it's something where I hope to get it out by December. But I might delay it if more stuff comes in. People are still sending me knockoffs, and no, there will actually, we're going to work on more Pod Stallions. Just Robert, thank you very much. Jason's been working 2 jobs, so oh, that's wonderful. I love to hear that you guys, because sorry, someone's commented that they listened to it in the car. Pod Stallions was always developed as a car ride that you're in the back seat and 2 guys are talking in the front. So that is magical. That makes me really happy. Jason's been working 2 jobs in television, and he's working a night job and a day job, and he's got like 3 hours of sleep a day. I think one of those let up recently, much to his chagrin, and so we'll be doing a lot more of those very shortly. Michael, you said everything happens in the right time. Exactly. I am kind of glad I didn't release knockoffs in 2014 like I planned, because I wouldn't have thought of doing this bootleg art thing, and I wouldn't have had so much weird stuff in my collection and other people's collection, and I wouldn't have networked with all these great people. Any talk of a Patreon for Pod Stallion? I don't understand Patreon. I have to figure it out, and eventually, maybe we're open to suggestions. We just, I would really like to blow Pod Stallions up into a bigger thing, and so does Jason. But life gets in the way, and but we're gonna work with our whole ass this year. I mean, there's nobody I'd rather be doing that show with, and we just get on, and we've got many more shows in us for sure. So I didn't know what to do tonight. I was gonna do an unboxing of figures that I was getting in from England, and it got held up in customs, which, of course, by the way, my friend Chris and Mike in England, the 2 guys that I get this stuff from, have been instrumental in this book. It really is, wonderful. What buying this collection has really changed a lot of things in my life, and especially I love getting these little boxes. But it got held up in customs, and that's the way of the world. So what I thought I would do is talk about some stuff that came in, and some stuff I don't get to talk about in the Toy Ventures, because it's Halloween, and in the Toy Ventures category, and it's not new stuff, but it's custom stuff. So, and I don't really do a lot with customs these days because I'm busy doing other things. Yeah, we are looking forward to doing our 100th episode of Pod Stallions, and we've got to figure out a topic for that. Sometimes I wish they redid Ron Space Knight with more freaky sounds. Yeah, I kind of wish they had done the Dire Wraiths figure that they were talking about. I'm putting up this little acrylic because it's like a little stage. I'm sure a lot of you guys got one of these, but I got this guy in the mail the other day. I can't believe how fast it got there. This is the Super 7 Creature from the Black Lagoon, and I'm blown away by this. Now, Ray Castile at the Basement of Horror has done a very good and very comprehensive video on this, and I'm kind of like usually an unboxer, but this stuff I don't know why, but I can't do it. This is, of course, the Wide Waist Creature, as we call it in Toy Ventures, and it is an homage box to the AHI or AHI or whatever you want to call it, Azrak Hamway. And they've even done a beautiful job of putting world famous Super 7 monsters. Now, I just want to explain something, and it's not braggadocio. I hope you guys don't think that, but when this magazine came out, the first issue, I had a friend in the know who knew the folks at Super 7, and he wrote me a little note that's saying, yeah, they're talking about doing exclusives with the AHI packaging. And I, thanks to you, like they were inspired by it. And I was like, neat. Like, I thought we would get little Kresge cards of the AHI monsters. That's all I knew. I never thought in a million years they would do the figures. They would replicate the figures themselves. And I was absolutely just blown away by this. I'm a sucker for this stuff. World's smallest G.I. Joe, world's smallest that stuff. I don't buy a lot of new figures. Like I've never owned, I don't own any Marvel Legends or Black Series or any of that stuff. But yeah, this had my number. Somebody's just asking me about the Mego Tops collaboration, and I'll give my 2 cents because a lot of people are asking me about it, and I'm not always in the loop with Mego. Like sometimes they keep me in the loop, and other times they get busy, and it's fine. From what I understand, this is the first time that I think Tops has ever done this, and it's certainly the first time Mego's ever done something like this, and it was very ambitious, having 2 figures a week for 52 weeks. And I think the whole thing was decently received, but there's always some problems. And I think there was a sea of feedback, and some of these people were of course, louder than others. But in the middle, there were some people with some genuine, decent feedback on the whole thing. And, there were things I don't like about it. I hated the shipping to Canada was 5 times as much as the U.S. And there is a general overall sort of stress to it. And for them to go, all right, let's regroup. Let's take it off the rails and retool it and come back with some solutions. I don't see how that's a bad thing. I don't think it's canceled. Everything that has been ordered is being made. And I hope that we see it return in a new format that's maybe a little more agreeable. I was getting hammered. I had this sort of budget of 2 figures a month. And, apes and Hammer figures. And I'm just thankful I don't care for Star Trek Next Generation, or I don't really need any more DC heroes, but I pity those. I can't be alone in the fact that it was starting to get it's just toys and I don't need everything, and I'm fine with it. But yeah, it was starting to get this little bit of I feel a little pressured here. I can vote by not buying, but I really did like some of the stuff. I couldn't get over, some of the stuff is very niche, and then some of the stuff is I can't not live without this. Who ever thought we'd get a mutant from beneath the Planet of the Apes? I would never expect to walk into a Toys R Us or a Walmart and see that. So that was kind of cool. So yeah, it's a weird thing, and I hope they come back with some solutions that are a little better, because I liked the idea of it. I liked that they were probably going to go and do some deep dives with characters that, yeah, they probably wouldn't put in Walmart. And yeah, so they were opening with some bigger A game characters, but fingers crossed. Like, I didn't hate the concept. I just thought it could. It was not a Victor Buono mutant. If it was, I would have bought two. It was a Mendez, I think. Lost Toy Store Memories for 100. I like that idea. Yeah. I like I said, I was very open to the Topps deal. Of course, like, I dreamed of getting two new Mego figures a week at Planet of the Apes. Oh my god, and Hammer. These are the kind of things, if I went back in time and told myself, it was like, no one could complain about this. I just wish that there was a few changes made to it, and it looks like I might get my way, because I just hope it's positive for everybody, and I would certainly like to not pay $60 shipping for $2. But that's my rant on the. It's not really a rant. A rant would have to include anger. I'm not angry about toys. Toys are my happy place, and I think a lot of you are in the same boat. Yeah, like, I really want it to go deep into the apes and deep into Hammer, and twice a month would be a lot better, I think. Twice a month, less pressure, and yeah, I mean, there were times where it's like, it's Deep Space Nine, yay, because they're nice, they looked really great, but not for me. So what I thought I'd do is talk about some stuff that some of my favorite things that I own that I don't really have a place for in Toy Ventures, and it's Hallows Eve, or pre-Hallows Eve, Armando and Culp. Oh, I need an Armando, yeah, and I need a Culp. You're right, with the turtleneck, yeah. And these are works by my friend Martin, who runs a company called Distinctive Dummies, which why don't I put a drop of blood in the magazine Halloween issue? It's a little weird. Didn't the Kiss did that, right? So Martin does these wonderful things. He calls himself Distinctive Dummies, and I got turned on. Yes, I do collect board games, and I play them with my kids. I've got like probably 50 vintage board games. What was it? One of my favorite board games is actually the Fantasy Island board game. We play it all the time. We have an Eyewitness News one that's a lot of fun, and I love the Columbo board game. Believe it or not, that is a fun game. You see that at Value Village, buy it. So Martin, I got into Martin's stuff because, probably like 10 years ago, he was making Hammer custom figures. He does these kind of assembly line customs, but they're artisanal. They cost more, but you're paying for someone's time. Just like, a can of Chef Boyardee is $2, and going to pasta in a nice restaurant's like $12 or $14 because you're paying for someone's time. So Martin gets to put a lot more spit and polish on the figures, and they're gorgeous, and they're worth the money. I've never had a problem paying for them. I still have all his Hammer stuff hanging on the wall over there, and it doesn't detract from having the Migos. The Columbo board game is a lot of fun. It's you're solving a mystery. It's similar to Clue, but it's you just have to play it. It's great. I found it at Value Village. I still kept all of my Hammer Migos by him, and or Hammer figures by him, and I treasure them. But I really wish that I had picked up on his Blind Dead. He did a Tombs of the Blind Dead monk, and I love the Blind Dead movies, and I didn't know he made it. I totally flaked on that one. and now it's like $300. But I would never sell any of these. So Martin has done a bunch of horror characters in the past, and I just thought I'd bring out my absolute favorites of favorites and talk about them a little bit. This is the Paul Naschy, the from his werewolf. I think this is the werewolf versus the vampire woman, and I am a Paul Naschy addict. I love Paul Naschy movies, and I have since I was a little kid. And to get an El Hombre Lobo action figure, which I don't know will ever happen. I don't know if any company would ever care as much to dig this deep. And then, of course, it is a beautiful head sculpt by Martin. And Martin is an ace painter. Beautiful clothing. Look at these claw hands. You know, like, I can remember getting that. Yeah, Waldemar. Yeah, exactly. I can remember getting the email for this in the morning, like, because Martin lives in Thailand, and there are many Naschy movies on YouTube: Assignment Terror, Vampire versus Werewolf. Yeah, the Dr. Jekyll and versus the Werewolf. They're all there. I got that email in the morning. I remember that, like, it was like 6 in the morning. I would look at my phone, and there's Distinctive Dummies, and it said something, and I ordered it in bed. Like, I was like, nope, this is happening right now. Like, I don't even know where I'm going to find the money. Boom. I had to have this thing. And the other thing I like about his aesthetic is there's sort of a dime story vibe going on with the cards. It's grindhouse. It's not overdone. It's just the right amount, where it's not like a ton of Photoshop filters, and it's just, it's very rustic artwork, and yeah, perfect, beautiful. The other one that, well, I've got 3 here, and then I got another set I'll talk about. This one is probably my absolute favorite, although it competes with the Waldemar. And that is the Beast of Blood from the Hemisphere Pictures Blood Island series. I was a kid watching Elvira, and I grew addicted to Filipino horror cinema because of this. And I do not have a great collection of... Mike Saxon, I have something to show you. I do think Mego will make an Ash Evil Dead. I think that license is easily available, and I expect to see that coming. I do not have a great collection of Blood Island stuff. As you can see, I have the mask behind me. And I have, like, some movies and a poster somewhere. Ray Castile has an amazing collection. He has the Jiggler, and it's amazing. Like, I'm envious. But yeah, this blew my mind. It was another wake up. Is that a zombie chimp? No, it's the chlorophyll monster. Oh, I get it. Yeah, it does kind of look like a monkey. He can take his head off, and these are just wonderfully well. Oh, you bought the Blood Island series? I hope you liked it, because I adore it. There's such a charm to them. They're amazing, and I even like when, like, Riff Tracks or Cinematic Titanic goes after them, because there's a lot of joy in them. You can laugh at something and love it. I tend to do that with a lot. There's 3 movies in the Blood Island collection. There's a 4th movie called Terror is a Man, which is considered part of the Blood Island series. I like Terror is a Man. I like all of them. And there's also Brain of Blood, which is meant to look like a Blood Island movie, but it's actually done by Al Adamson and Sam Sherman. It's weird that guys in Hollywood are working hard to make something look like it was filmed in the Philippines, but they did it. It's an incomprehensible mess that I adore. It's an acquired taste, but I like garbage cinema. So, be that as it may, Twilight People is awesome. Like, that theme song just gets in my head. This is the third one, and this is another favorite of mine. This was done with Distinctive Dummies and Paul Bearer Press, and this was Coffin Joe, Jose Mujica Moran's, a man I actually got to meet, which was really cool. I didn't know who he was at the time. I'd read about him, but I'd never seen his films. But you just if you look for Blood Island, you'll find the movies. Mystery Science Theater figures would be amazing. I almost got that done. I know Joel Hodgson, and we were trying to do it for a Kickstarter thing, but he went in a different direction. So, I discovered the Coffin Joe movies after I met him. Something Weird Video was kind of distributing them, and he's just amazing. Like, I like those films a lot. Well, that's taped. I was going to take him out. I'm afraid to break him, to be honest with you. But this is so gorgeous. It defies description. Like, first of all, that box rules. And look at those hands, and that head sculpt. This thing is just rocking. And when are we ever going to get a Coffin Joe figure? I mean, I wish the world knew more about Coffin Joe. I wish he was like as popular as Jason or Freddy, but it is what it is. And I'm really grateful to Paul Bearer Press, who do these little micro run of figures. And I think this sold out in like an afternoon. I was going to do a mint-off card about this. I remember I was going to do a mint-off card. And I didn't do it because by the time the figure got to my house, it had sold out. And it was kind of like one of those things where I didn't want to tick people off. I didn't want to do a review of something they can't buy. So I just put it off. I actually filmed the episode and never aired it. Never edited it either. Mike Saxon, you just mentioned Mike Vraney. What a great guy. I love Mike Vraney. Rest in peace. I used to call him in college, and he would talk to me for like 2 hours, and he didn't have to. There was no reason for him to talk to a college kid who had $20 to his name. But yeah, I love Mike Vraney, and he turned me on to so many things, and he was always a joy to see at Chiller Theater. I've been to many 90s Chiller Theater. In fact, I have some footage I'm going to put on YouTube of me at 90s Chiller Theater, and I'm shooting the Logan's Run gun, and I'm hanging out with Guar and the Ramones, and those were the days. I would like someone to make some Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires figures. I agree. 100%. Love that movie. What a wonderfully understated film. And if there is a Coffin Joe Blu-ray set, I'll buy it. I have the DVD set. I also heard a rumor they're going to do a Blind Dead Blu-ray set, which would be amazing. Yeah, I haven't been to Chiller since I think 2001 or 2002. Yeah, it was sad to hear Zachary passing. I love New Jersey, by the way. Zachary needs the Mego treatment. 100% agree. There was a day at Chiller Theater where I was parked up on the top garage, and Zachary pulled in next to me or just across from me, and the joy in his face, like he was thrilled. Like, this was a guy skipping to work, and like, he didn't see me watching him, but I was just observing him while I was sitting in my car, probably smoking. And yeah, he just, you could just see how happy he was to be there. And I just remember my observance of him was what a nice guy. He's a really nice guy. And I'd met him. I'd never, of course, grown up with him. So I collect DVDs. I collect Blu-rays. I'm not company orientated, but I do have some Anchor Bay stuff. I like Anchor Bay. This is the last one. Now, this wasn't done by Martin, apparently. It was done by Rabid Budgie, and I know why. And Rabid Budgie, I think, has only done one figure set, and this is the one. And this is Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. A family classic around here. I'm sure a lot of you agree. I don't know why we haven't gotten, Mego, Abbott, and Costello figures. Maybe that's coming. Maybe it's too esoteric for the mass market. I don't know, but I think a lot of folks my age and your age are fans of this film. I adore it. And this was a really exciting purchase. I had to have it. Oh, by Lionsgate. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. And the detail on these guys is just great. And now, I have a Glenn Strange Frankenstein I can put him with. I have a Bela Lugosi Dracula, and of course, we've got a Lon Chaney Wolfman. So I could actually recreate it. Super Hippie by Odeon. There's only one Super Hippie figure, and it's at Mitch's house, which is a riot going to Mitch's house. He's got a Big Igor in his basement. I'm talking about the creator of Frightenstein, or one of the creators of Frightenstein. Yeah, he's just a joy. I'm glad I met Mitch. Yeah, I love Abbott and Costello too. And then finally, because I couldn't do an unboxing, I was holding something off for the book. But, holding one figure for the book and not sharing is kind of silly. And it's All Hallows Eve, and it is one of the coolest things I've ever gotten from my knockoff collection. I was so excited about it. I'll only buy VHS if it's something really important to me, like Invasion UFO or the Space 1999 TV movies. I'm looking forward to that Frightenstein Blu-ray box set as well. Although because I'm in Canada, we have it free on our cable provider. And it's wonderful. It's all high def, and Abbott and Costello would sell better than the Bowery Boys. Yeah. The only way to win that argument is to agree with you. I think so too. I don't know how popular Hunt's Hall is these days. Although I like the Bowery Boys. Yes. So in my last box of knockoffs, I got... Put a light over this thing. I don't get a lot of monster stuff. I usually get superhero stuff or Action Man knockoffs, that sort of thing, which I adore. But this came in, and I'm just going to show you the header card first. It's called Haunted Horrors. And if anybody knows where they stole this artwork, because bootleggers always steal. There's Space 1999 TV movies. They are just 2 episodes edited together, and they were syndicated and sold on video. One of them famously by Sybil Danning. This is, it's an Action Man knockoff. It's a Tommy gun. See his head? There's a hole in the bag to see his head, but it is a Frankenstein. Like it is a Tommy gun KO, a fighting Yank KO, which I have dozens of these guys, but this one has been painted to look like Frankenstein, and they've put some ratty clothes on him. And this was a Seaside shop thing. There's no price tag on this one, but his leg is broken too. That's what really kills me about this guy. He is the white whale. It is impossible to photograph this well, and I'm going crazy. Looks like it was from an old Skywald magazine. Okay, I have to look up Skywald. Yeah, it's definitely been through the ringer, this thing. The bag is just filthy. But the figure itself is so glorious and so hilarious. I just absolutely love it. If it's coming off a little blue, it's probably because of the lighting in here. This thing is rather green. But it's probably because I've got all these red, lights like I'm a massage parlor. but yeah, it is one of my favorite things. Like when this thing came on, I just freaked out. Yes, Michael, I absolutely found or mentioned the water squirting of the Joker. I have a polarized filter. Sorry, I'm getting all mixed up here, and it does help a lot. And I do have the hard to find Tarzan. The Tarzan photo actually came from Kevin Fiore, who I knew owned one, and he took a photo of it. It's wonderful. I actually have a whole page of weird Tarzan figures, and they're hilarious. I mean, every one is sillier than the next. I love Tarzan, and it's important. I have superhero figures of characters I didn't know why anyone would knock off. It's really, I can't wait for this book to get out there. Oh, okay, I think 70s Atlas and that. Okay. Well, you've given me something to Google tonight, and I appreciate that because I think I've heard of Skywell, but I don't think I've ever actually looked at it. Watching you with 3D glasses. That was a SCTV joke. So that is, yeah, I love Kevin. That's all I got tonight, guys. I really appreciate it. I'm super excited for this book, and I'm so grateful. So many people joined me, and if you want to know more about it or updates, obviously following this channel. But there's also a mailing list you can join on the Toy Ventures page on Plaid Stallions. So you go to toyventuresmag.com and you sign up for our mailing list, and I will happily send out I'm going to send out an email tomorrow announcing this book. And then yeah, Dr. Tung's 3D House of Knockoffs. I'll take it. I love Count Floyd. Oh my God. I want to make a Count Floyd action figure actually. And yeah, I want to do, well, yeah, I'll field any questions right now. But if you want to be up to date on that, join the mailing list, and I'll be announcing the book as it goes along. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thanks. Oh man, I can't tell you how fun it is. It was hard keeping this a secret. I loved this idea, and I'd show my wife, and she just burst out laughing at every other page, and I knew I was onto something. And it's fun to write these comments and to lay these pages out. It's very zen, and I just can't wait for you guys to get this. Thank you so much for your support. If you have any questions, let me know now. Thanks, Kaboom. I know your real name, but I've forgotten it. The Vampire Who Howls, yeah. And he's got shoe polish on his forehead as the Widow's Peak. That's always been my favorite thing. I'm a huge Joe Flaherty fan. I've always thought he was like the underrated cement of SCTV, and I quote him often. Oh man, that's strong. All right, well, thanks again, and I hope to talk to you soon. I might go to a toy show tomorrow, so I might do a follow-up video in the next couple of days. Working on a couple of vintage Megos and lots of stuff on the site. I appreciate your support. If any, please keep telling your friends about Toy Ventures Magazine. I really appreciate it. And, like I said, if you've got a knockoff that you think is really funny, yeah, what appeals to me about the knockoffs is there's a sense of humor to them. They're silly cash grabs, but they make me laugh. And a lot of the time, it's inadvertently. There is a set that David posted where it's just 5 Superman figures. And, I think they were supposed to put other characters in there. And there's a picture of George Clooney Batman, and it said, "Let us go." And none of it makes sense, and the absurdity of it is why you like it. It just brings a smile to your face, and we need things that bring a smile to our face, and to curate this is exciting. And look, we all could use a laugh, so yeah, it's definitely sarcasm. I was raised in a very sarcastic household. You know, if I was trying to watch like $6 Million Man and, you know, he's pushing a styrofoam boulder, my mother would be behind me going, "Oh, that looks heavy." You know, and so that's who I am. Brent, I just want to tell a quick Cannibal Girls story. That was filmed about 20 minutes north of me, and that town hasn't changed one iota. And you watch that film, and I'm like, I know where that is. Like, you could just it's the exact same downtown. So if you're ever in Canada and you want to go to Beaverton and see the filming locations of Cannibal Girls, and also that's the only film I've ever seen with Igor from Frightenstein without his makeup. He plays the butcher. All right, guys. I will come to Designer Con when the book is done and I can come to Canada. Thanks for joining me. I want everyone to check out Toys on Tap. Abraham was just such an amazing friend to me on this thing. He's really helped. And you got to check out his podcast. You got to check out the world of bootleg art. It's amazing. And it's something I wish I could, you know, I'd have to have another me to get involved in it, but I love it. I absolutely love it. And these guys are doing great things. They're creating fun things and creating a culture. And I just want to celebrate it with them a little bit. And I'm so glad so many of them joined in. So it's great. Bye, everybody. Happy Halloween. Be safe, have fun. And I hope to see you very soon. I really appreciate this. Cheers.